In 1970, we took a group of kids to Cleveland for a Shabbaton, and it was the first time that we had ever seen such tremendous ruach and how one weekend could reconnect kids to their Jewish heritage. And when you think about it, NCSY essentially created the Shabbaton and laid the groundwork for what has become the mainstay of so many Jewish organizations today.
You know, NCSY began about 40 years ago here in Toronto. And it began because a small group of people took the achrayus of starting an organization that they believed would change the landscape of their community and, in fact, the landscape of the Jewish people. That group of people was led by David and Fran Woolf.
His whole way of dealing with children brought him to the stage that he wanted to get involved with Kiruv because he believed in children. This actually funneled through into his own children and grandchildren.
Parents are very, very supportive of Eretz Yisrael and Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, and they were very supportive for me and my husband.
It's a great nachas for us to see that it's being passed on to the next generation, both here and in Israel, where our kids are also involved in community work to a great extent.
I remember from the time I was really young, always packing up to go for Shabbatonim when my father was the national director. From the time we were teenagers, my parents encouraged us always to get involved as well. And we were involved in NCSY, I was involved in Yach, and I think that we're also teaching that to our children. Our children are learning from us and from my parents as well.
Seeing how much NCSY has impacted my in-laws' lives really was a no-brainer for Zahav and I to bring NCSY into our home.
Having young NCSY kids at our Shabbos table regularly was a great experience for the entire family. We got to meet kids from different backgrounds and really understood the challenges that they were facing.
It's not just about your one family that matters, it's the community at large, and that if you help out, then people see that you're part of a community and you're not just caring about, your everyday existence, and that's what my in-laws showed us.
Through NCSY, I met my wife, and we are now married 14 years and have 4 kids, and if it wasn't for NCSY, we probably wouldn't have met. And I have to thank NCSY.
It's of giving first and foremost to one's surroundings, one's community, and then of course the family, the strong bond between the Wolfs and the Jews of Toronto and now the Jews here in Israel.
They use their great energies and their great talents for the sake of Klal Yisrael, and they inspire others to do for the sake of the people of Israel.
Dave and Fran are the quintessential Lev Tov. They're there for every Jewish person in every part of the world at every hour of the day. It's not unusual that David, the singer, songwriter, guitarist, would end up leading NCSY into a fundraising venture of concerts. And so many, many years ago, 31 years ago, NCSY began with its very first concert.
David was so involved with the organization that he lived and breathed NCSY. He happened to work for Royal Plastics, but it was clear that his passion and Fran's passion was NCSY and the mission of NCSY. David and Fran's home was the #1 choice. Now, I have to tell you, David said it the night of our Torah, but it was Fran's cooking that was the attraction.
I became involved in NCSY when I was in high school, when I was in chat. I had a very close chevra of friends who we did everything together. We hung out Shabbosim together, we did things Saturday night together, we went on Shabbatons together, summer camp together, but each and every one of us have a Torah observant home. And I would say for myself, David and Fran Woolf and their family were a major inspiration for me in becoming from. They not only took me in, but they actually became good friends of my parents, and they really brought my parents in.
We've had the privilege of hosting many, many teenagers over the past years, just showing them what a Shabbos atmosphere is like is enough to ignite their interest in Yiddishkeit. And it was wonderful getting to know a lot of these kids. A lot of them we still are in contact with. It's amazing. Sometimes we walk down the street or we're in Israel and somebody will come up to us and say, "Don't you remember me? We ate at your house in 1970-something.
Both Fran's parents, Aleim Shalom, and Yibodel L'chaim Tov, and my parents, established homes that were committed to Jewish values and had wonderful Jewish atmosphere in which to grow up in. But thank God we had the schutz to be part of this community, this wonderful community that helped to raise so many children. And we thank the community for your support.
David always taught me that the greatest accomplishment we could have in NCSY is to have a Shem Tov. I really, truly hope we have lived up to history.